a little bit, but thrust jump to third. Hi everybody. So hopefully that little intro got your blood going about the 6x4 APC gas prop for use in your park jets. I know it certainly has been a lot of fun for me the last couple months. Testing it both on the bench and especially at the field. So I wanted to, before I go any further, give a shout out to RC Plane Pirate from the UK. I'm going to have a link down below to his YouTube channel. I strongly encourage you, if you're interested, please go check it out. He tests tons of motors, props, he tests EDFs, all kinds of setups. He's got some great educational videos. There's a really good one there about props, batteries, all kinds of things like that, as well as he's got some really good flight footage of planes that he's designed and flown that are a lot faster than anything that I fly. So please go check it out. It's because of him that I've started using this 6x4 APC gas prop, and it's really made quite an impact on me and the performance that I've been getting out of my motors. So that's kind of the upshot, I guess, of this video. Is I just wanted to talk to you. I know that I've mentioned briefly in my flight videos all the footage, those little high-speed passes at the start. That's all little snapshots, if you will, out of videos that I've shot at the field testing this prop on four different motors. The three right here, which I'll talk about, and this one here. This is actually a little quad racing motor, B rotor 2207 2780 super high kV motor that I've been testing from RC Timer. Really punches above its weight, and it works super well with the 6x4 APC gas prop. So I'll just put this back down here. Alright, so yeah, like I said, so the other three motors that I've tested, this is, you know, a 2212 2200 kV motor. This is you know, this is a knockoff, I guess, or an equivalent to the Turnigy 2826.6 2200 kV motor from Hobby King. You know, this size motor is sort of you know, 90% of the park jets that you're gonna find have been designed to run really well with this motor. So it's really the workhorse of park jet motors. I also tested this. This is the DYS BE 2208 2600 kV motor. This is another very popular motor in park jets that's been used the last couple of years. It's compared to this one. This one's about 66 or 67 grams when you put a prop and everything on it, and if I remember correctly, this one is about 54, 55 grams. So quite a bit lighter, really smooth bearings. And I used to run this 6x4 by 3 master air screw prop on both of these motors, and I really liked it on this DYS 2600 motor. But since I've been using the 6x4 APC, this is now my, or gas prop, this is now my favorite prop for this motor. And the last motor, which really likes the 6x4 APC gas prop, if you want, this is a 2212 5T 2700 kV motor. I believe I got this one from GearBest. This one has kind of taken over. One of the popular motors that I used to run a lot was 2212 6 2700, or you often heard it referred on the forums as the Focal Price 2700, because they were one of the first vendors that sold it. But now you can find this one anywhere. I've bought them from and tested them from GearBest, Banggood, eBay, you know, and they're a pretty inexpensive motor and really pack some serious power now, especially with this 6x4 APC gas prop. So I'm actually going to post some pictures at the end of this video so you can kind of see up close I'll try and show you. So here's front on. This is the electric, which is again actually the knockoff. This is the gas. This is an actual APC brand prop. So you can see a little bit of difference in the blade width there, I think. Where you're going to really notice it, let me get these matched here. So again, the electric is on the top, gas is on the bottom. You can see a real difference in how the pitch is really aggressive here, close to the hub on the electric one, compared to the gas one here, which is not quite as aggressive, but it tends to stay more constant all the way down the length of the blade. Again, I'm going to I'll actually put the link to the prop video that RC Plane Pirate did, and I think he's got he's bang on with his theory that, years ago when electric motors first started, they weren't anywhere near as powerful, as efficient as what they are now. So this was, at the time, maybe this was the design that worked the best. But having seen both on the bench and in the air how much better this prop performs, that definitely I'm going to be replacing all of my 6x4 APC electrics with this prop. It's a bit more expensive. I'll put a link down below again where I got mine from. I bought it from a place called A-Main Hobbies in the States. Obviously I live in Canada. Not that expensive, and it was about $2.39. Obviously these are quite inexpensive. They're, you get a pair of them for less than $2 US. But when I see the performance, the increase in performance that I get with this prop, it's well worth the extra money, $1.50 or whatever more American that I have to pay for this prop. So I'm just going to talk just briefly about the difference, in numbers. Again, another link. I've been maintaining a spreadsheet of motors, parkjet motors that I've bench tested and field tested for quite a long time, and I've converted that into a Google Sheets document, and it will have a public link. So I'll have the link to that down below, so you can get more of the the real tech details if you're interested in that. I'm just going to kind of roughly go over. Okay, so talking about the 2212 here, the workhorse motor. The numbers that I saw on the bench with the 6x4 electric, about 23.6 amps, 27 ounces of thrust, and with the gas one, basically the same number of amps, 23.8 amps, but 30 ounces of thrust. So big improvement. The other nice thing that I like about this APC gas prop is that it tends to be much quieter, which normally tells me when I'm spinning a prop and it's quieter, that I'm getting more of the power that the motor's generating converted into thrust. So I'll just show you again. This is a knockoff, so you can see, just kind of gentle, that it's got quite a bit of flex in the prop blade, and with this, putting essentially the same pressure, it bends, but it's really stiff. Like this prop has a super strong backbone. So yeah, same amount of amps essentially, but over 10% more better performance. So that means that I can essentially easily run it. This is a 30 amp speed controller. It's about 7 or 8 grams lighter than the 40 amp speed controller that I run. Okay, getting on to the DYS. Again, this was a huge revelation for me when I first flew it, because like I said, I'd been using this prop a lot. This seemed to really work well with it. So yeah, the electric with this motor, about 26.5 amps, 28 ounces of thrust. With the gas, just slightly more amp draw, but about 31 3 ounces more thrust. So again, like about a 10% increase. Again, I tend to run this one now with a 30 amp speed controller, where with this prop I was running it with a 40 amp speed controller. So again, not only have I increased or got a good amount of power, but I've been able to reduce the overall weight of my plane. Yeah, so this little powerhouse, this is actually really interesting. So with the electric prop, which is what I actually used to run on this, I mean, it runs really well on either, like this is sort of a 6x3 sport prop I get these from RC Timer. Again, it's a completely different shaped blade, but pretty efficient. You can run it on this, ran it a little bit more efficiently, but I used to run them on the electric prop. I just like the way that they performed. So on the electric prop, it was pulling about 35 amps. Ran pretty warm, but again, they're not that expensive, and I've actually yet to burn one out, and I've run them pretty hard, so they're pretty durable. 35 amps, and I was getting about 31.5 ounces of thrust, which is pretty darn good. Well, put the gas prop on it, and it was actually a complete flip-flop in numbers. Now I'm pulling 32 amps, but I'm getting 35 ounces of thrust. So really, stellar performer for this very inexpensive motor. Spend, like I said, an extra $1, $1.50, depending on where you are. Try out one of these 6x4 APC gas props. Pardon me, and I think you're going to see a real increase in performance. Now I run a 40 amp speed controller with that prop just because it's regularly running over 30, and I just like to, I find it's just a little better for all my components to run the 40 amp speed controller. Now for this little beastie here, this super high kV quad racing motor. It's a bit amp hungry for the amount of amps that it's turning out, but again, it's a 2780. It's a pretty high kV motor. So when I was testing it with the electric prop, I was it was drawing about 33 amps, but it was really inefficient. I was only getting like 23 ounces of thrust. As soon as I tried the gas prop, I actually dropped an ounce in amp draw, but I had like a 5.5 ounce increase in thrust. And you can watch the one video. I flew it with a 90% MiG-35 with that motor, and it was just a little rocket ship. And even with that bigger plane, it's around 20 ounces. It still really moves. And the acceleration, two-bladed prop, especially on like I was mentioning on this motor. This prop actually on this motor, this is one of those things where like I do a lot of bench testing, and obviously what the numbers tell me is making sure that I can match the proper speed controller and the proper battery. But then when you get it to the field, quite often those numbers don't correlate. Sometimes they're not, the performance doesn't seem to be as good as what the numbers would tell you, and other times much better. And this is a prime example. This motor, it draws, with this prop, it draws 30 amps, produces about 32.5. So just a slight increase, but because now running this prop, I've got one less blade to get in the way, the top end speed is like noticeably better, as is the acceleration. So I've actually dropped down in amps so I can run a smaller, lighter speed controller, and I've got an increase in speed and increase in acceleration. So it's really really hard to ask for much more than that. So anyway, enough about those all of those numbers and stuff. Like I said, I don't know if it's the new super prop of parkjets. I know there's other guys who have used for a long time in the parkjet community on other motors. They've been playing around with gas props as well. But like I said, I would definitely encourage you, if you're kind of bored with what you're, if you have any of these kind of motors. I think where it really earns its pay the best is when you get into motors that are a bit higher kV. I should mention all of those numbers were based on using a 3S battery. You know, I don't know. You probably with this motor, this 2200, I know you can run. You could probably run this on 4 cell with this prop. It's a 34 amp motor, and you probably would still be under its amp limit. So, yeah, like I said, sometimes that's what I found in all my testing, both on the bench and at the field. Sometimes just spending a couple of bucks on a different prop is can make a huge difference in your performance. And so I would encourage you, if you can get your hands on one of these, a few of these 6x4 APC gas props, just give them a try. And if you find that you've had an increase in performance, or maybe not, I encourage you, please leave comments below and let me know what your experiences are. But yeah, I'm sold. Like I said, big shout out and thanks to RC Plane Pirate for pointing me in the direction of these props. I ordered 4 originally, and I've got 4 more now on the way, and I'll probably be giving away a bunch of these electric ones to other guys at my field, or an after school program that I donate stuff to every once in a while. So yeah, give it a whirl. Thanks again to RC Plane Pirate. Yeah, in my world anyway, I think this is the new super prop for park jets. So thanks very much for watching, folks. Blue skies, calm winds to everyone, and park jet noise, the other sound of freedom. And just before I go, please, I've started up a new park jet blog. I'm going to have a link down to that. I'm also hoping in the future, rolling into 2018 here very shortly, I'm hoping to increase the educational content of my YouTube channel. I'm certainly not an expert, and I'm not a real technical guy, but I do a lot of flying, and I'm pretty observant with what's going on, and I just want to be able to share my experiences, good, bad, or indifferent, and hopefully it'll help you in your park jet journey as well. So again, thanks to RCPP, and thanks to you for watching. Take care, everyone.